So let me quickly introduce you to the students who don't know you. So how do I remember Lorraine? Coming in as a transfer student, being always curious, always not saying insecure, but questioning her work. Is this good enough? There's a thought she always had, which really stuck out. And for me, it was really interesting to see how she came in, and even in these 2 years at Wayne, started to really kind of like figure out who she is, where she wants to go to, and then quite quickly, with a little bit of a delay because of the company, but then she landed actually her job at Ethan and Allen, and she's here today to just talk about her journey and what she does at Ethan and Allen. So
Yeah, and well, hi everyone. My name is Lorraine. I'm actually as new, as fresh as you guys in the field. I just graduated in December, but I started my very first full-time job as a designer at Ethan Allen in July of 2021. So the way it started is that I initially wanted to apply for an assistant position as a part-time while being in school there, like an assistant to the designers there, just for me to gain some experience while being in school before graduating. And fortunate for me, when I was there and I was showing them my portfolio, the HR manager thought that I was a great fit for a designer there. And I was like, well, it's a full-time job and I'm still in school, so it wasn't really going to work with me. So we kind of postponed everything to May, thinking that I was going to graduate in May, but then I had some electives that I had to take in the fall semester, which kind of delayed my my graduation and starting with them and whatever. So I started in July. I had some classes, so I was full time in Wayne and full time working, but it went okay. They were really flexible with my schedules, and they were really understanding, and they let me work on my own time. So when I started at Ethan Allen, it was kind of challenging because it was a designer position. I wasn't really under anyone. It was more like running my own business individually, building a clientele, and depending on whoever walks the door, maybe it's a possible client of mine, and it was just challenging at first. So, Claus, do you want me to show them my portfolio first, or
yeah. It's your show.
Okay. So I know Claus wanted me to touch base on a couple of things on my portfolio. Well, what really stood out to them is that I included a lot of sketching and interest in furniture. So my advice is, whatever company you're applying for, try your best to showcase what they want to look at, basically, just how you build your cover letter, and try your best to include keywords that'll match the job description. Try your best to work around your portfolio and show them what they want to see. I know it's kind of difficult to work with InDesign sometimes. Let me just scroll down to what I'm trying to show you. So here, they really like the fact that I could sketch, although as designers, I guess we've been through this, and we were asked to do like sketches or brainstorming or color coding and stuff like that. So it was easy for me, but the sketches aren't really great. But they thought that it was a good skill that I have this, just because if I'm with a client and they're asking me of like, how do they space plan their living room, for example, or their bedroom. That way I know how to sketch real quick. So this specific project was from the furniture design class that I took with Klaus. Basically, we were trying to create a persona for someone that is working from home, and design like office furniture that'll kind of relate to their style and stuff like that. So this was furniture, furniture design class and furniture sketching, which they thought was really impressive, that I know how to do it. So yeah, this was one of the things that they really, really liked. And then moving to what Ethan Allen does. If anyone's familiar with Ethan Allen, it's a high-end, I'm not going to say luxury, but it's a high-end American furniture brand. They do offer a interior design service. So I'm basically a salesperson slash designer here at Ethan Allen, which means that it's a one-stop shop. You can get everything from here, from furniture, wall coverings, wall-to-wall carpeting, window treatments, case goods, soft goods. We basically custom make our pieces. So this job really requires problem solving, which means not all the projects would mean that I'm doing a full project in a residential project, which means that maybe someone is coming just to furnish a part of their living room. So I have to work with what they have. And in order to do that, we do have, Ethan Allen provide us like a 3D planner. It's very simple. The way that I had to learn this is that I had a 3-week training before I got on the floor and started to take clients. It was a 3-week training that kind of like introducing me to the product, getting to know the product, the different options that comes in each and every piece, because it gets a little bit challenging in, memorizing the amount of furniture that we have and the different things that we can do in each piece. So that 3-week was kind of like getting to know the product, what comes with the product and stuff like that. What's nice about this 3D planner is that you can actually import CAD drawings or Revit drawings, which you can see here, and then you can trace over it, which makes it easy to just, pull up the walls and start plugging in the actual product in the plan. Here you can see like this is the HD rendering, and this is like the actual photograph.
So
when
you
the
have
project
actually
was done.
from all the objects you sell, you actually have existing 3D models which you can pull into your system.
Yes.
Okay.
It
That's
has
huge
all the
help.
Ethan. Yeah. It has all the Ethan Allen furniture and products, and it's actually very similar to SketchUp. The way that you just search what you want to do, maybe let's say an artwork, you can just type in artwork and it'll show you what they have, and then you can actually choose Ethan Allen product and it'll show you what Ethan Allen offers. I know this 3D planner is actually offered on our website, but it doesn't have all the tools that the designers have. So we kind of have the premium version, I would say, on our computers. And it actually has a 3D walkthrough that's actually really, really, really nice. So the client gets to see how the end result is going to look like. The quality is really nice. It really helps me to sell the design, basically. So I kind of summed up everything I do in this slide, which means, window treatments. We do custom window treatments. I get to go to site visits for me to understand what I'm working with, to better assist the client. Here's some workers working on the floors. This is like a 2D version of my plan, some materials that I selected for my client. And these are like presentations that I do just for me to kind of help the client envision what I'm choosing for them. Plus doing the renderings, some Photoshop versions that I'm going to show you in a bit. So this picture just is just showing like an elevation. I know it just looks like drapery, but here's all the um what I typed here is like the overall window width and height, and what is the pleat style that I want to do for the curtains, and the color and the fabric, and just so the workroom knows what they're working with when they want to do this custom drapery. This is a fast sketch that I did at my client's house. I was just, taking some dimensions by myself. And then I went after and drew what I was thinking before I left. And then I asked her to come back and talk more about it. So here's what I do. It just depends on the project too. So sometimes I do the 3D renderings like you see here. Sometimes I do something like this, which I show the actual, like an inspiration picture and what I choose for them from our store. I give them some options. This is like a Photoshop version of a rendering. It just depends on how fast the client wants the project to be done and their time frame. Again, this is like a fast mood board that I did for my client while she was at the store. These are just inspiration pictures from our actual store website. So that's it. These are really straight to the point. I know that it's really short. I don't have as much as Talia was showing you guys. It's basically like, it just depends on each client. Some people are just gonna come in for a sofa and that's it. Some people ask for a full project. And what's really difficult here and challenging is that it's not really a firm. So there isn't a contract between me and the client. It's not like I know that this is gonna go through, or they're gonna order this, or they're gonna buy my design. It's basically like convincing them with my design, asking them to come in a week or so, just so I can get the plan ready, maybe go on a home call like this. And just see the space myself, take some pictures, sit with the client, see what their needs are. Again, problem solving. A lot of people come in, they're really overwhelmed with their newly built house. They don't know what to choose. So really, it's like a complimentary service Ethan Allen offers, like the interior design service. And then what I do on my end is basically either nailing down a client or not. It gets really challenging, but it's been great. I officially had a great first month on the floor in September, and I made about 120K of sales on my very first full month. So September was great. October was great. It kind of got slower in December because of the holiday seasons, and November, Thanksgiving, and then January is starting to kick back in. Of course, the shortage of materials has been really difficult to explain to clients, just because it is a custom made furniture company. So not a lot of people appreciate that and know that. So it just depends. It just depends on the person and the client. And that's it, really. I'm open to any questions.
Yeah, I have one. So if you try to break your clients apart, what's more the majority clients who really don't know what they want and you need to guide them, or client they have a good idea already and you just give them the finishing touch?
I would say most of the time people come in really overwhelmed with what they want to do. And it gets really challenging just because when someone is kind of confused on what they want exactly, it gets a little bit difficult nailing down this project, because not a lot of people are willing to do a full project at one time. So here's what I do is I kind of break the project into phases, just for them to kind of get comfortable with the process. It gets overwhelming with the amount of customization and options, for sure. And then you get some people that just know what they want, and they just come in and they're like, I know I like the sofa, I saw it online or in another location, just order it for me. It just really depends.
When let's say a client comes in and they need the service, and they really don't, first they don't know what they want, and then they're also very unsure about if they want to take advice. I have, for example, one client who asked a neighbor who asked me a few times for advice, and I gave her my opinion, and then she doesn't do anything with it because she's so afraid to
Yep.
just do something, and then she doesn't like it, and then she has to redo it. Essentially a year later, it's still in the same
It's still in the same,
shape. Can you
yeah.
talk about how you try to communicate or read what client wants? Do you use like a specific technique or strategy to understand their needs, but also then to convince them that kind of like what you propose is something that they could use and should
Yes.
trust you?
Yeah. So, well, it just depends if it's a single person or if it's a couple, of course, because if it's a couple, it gets more complicated, just because each each individual wants different things, and their vision is different. So I need to sit with both of them and ask them a couple questions on what are their needs, how many kids they have, what kind of fabric are they looking for, because we do have different grades of fabric, different grades of leather, but we do have solid woods, which makes a lot of people more comfortable because they're investing a lot into furniture like this. So what I actually do is I sit down with the couple or that person and start to ask some questions, get to know the person more closely, just so I can kind of create a design that will actually fit their needs and is actually more tailored to their style and their taste. So it's more like getting to know the person, and just figure out what do they want to do exactly, and what is their time lead on things.
Hmm.
Yeah, it gets a little bit challenging with people, just because there isn't anything that's there isn't a contract or anything. So for example, if someone comes in and they really want to redo their living room, it might take weeks or a year for them to decide whether or not they want to do it. But of course, I'm the person that, in the situation where I need to do the sale, and I need to follow up with the client either over phone, email. So it gets a little bit difficult, but most of the times it works. So still getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. Your story is actually really insightful because it's a little bit giving an explanation to why in class very often I say in discussions what we like is really kind of like not doesn't even really matter, because in the end of the day, once you go into the field, you need to convince the client that this
Yes.
is what they want. And we need to, yeah, I mean, also buy into it, because you bring up a really good point, because for you it's not only you can make a proposal, but at the same we also want them to buy it, because we're in the industry of selling a product or selling a service. So
Yes.
and how do we get the client actually convinced and buy into it? Like
Yeah.
with a company like Ethan and Allen, it's not an IKEA piece that is not very expensive. These are more heavy investments, so you really want to make
Yeah.
sure that you're committed to that idea.
Sure. And this is where it gets a little bit
Mhm.
difficult. But most of the times, the clients that we get are actually familiar with Ethan Allen. They're familiar with the name. Um, they have Ethan Allen in their homes for like 20 plus years, so they know. So them coming back and investing again in furniture gets a little bit overwhelming, just because the pricing has been changing a lot lately. We've had a couple of price increases in like 5 months, which is huge for a customer to see and to understand. But because of all the economic stuff and the shortage of labor and materials, it's been happening quite often.
It's kind of
Um,
insane that we are in this
it is,
shortage of materials 2 years in and we're still there. It
yeah,
feels like so unreal. This can't be possible, but it's reality.
yeah. We try our best to have like a quick ship line that is actually like you can choose from 5 different frames, selected fabrics. You can get this within 10 weeks instead of 12, sorry, 20 weeks. So it's like you either choose something that is very basic that you can get in like a beige color or a gray color instead of customizing your own sofa and waiting for it. And a lot of people just don't want to wait for a 6 month sofa. They'd rather have it in like a couple weeks. And this is where we turn down a lot of clients just because they want a sofa tomorrow and they come in and they really like the brand and everything, but it's just like we can't really do anything about it just because of the policy and it's a custom piece. I mean, we don't have a lot of in stock items. It's just like they start manufacturing it when we place the order, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Do you
Yeah.
guys have any questions for her?
So is everything made in the US?
Yes. It's an American furniture brand. Everything is made in North America, specifically North Carolina and Vermont. I would say the leather is treated in Palau, Mexico, or the other country, Indonesia, for wood vineyards. So when the leather is treated in Mexico, for example, they actually manufacture the piece in the US, but even if the leather is treated in Mexico. But yes, 85% of our products are made in the US.
Well, nice to see you again, Lorraine. This is Hiyam.
Thank you,
And
Hiam.
I'm
I
so
hope you're
happy.
doing well.
I'm happy you are there, and I knew it. You will make it, and you look good as usual. I have no question for you, but just you doing great job.
Thank you so much. And I hope you're doing well in Wayne State.
I am. This is hopefully the last year.
Oh, good, good. So you're graduating soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. I met Hiam in Henry Ford College before I transferred to Wayne State. She's a very good friend of mine. So yeah, do you guys have any questions? I know I went over, I know I was really quick in the description, but I'm pretty new here. And I like residential, but I kind of lean more towards commercial design just because it doesn't limit you as residential does. You get to explore more and you get to research more and you get to explore your ideas to people that are minded likewise and that would really appreciate your thoughts. In residential, you're kind of limited to what the client wants, and depending on the couple, if they have kids or not, it's just a different field for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that it's in commercial, maybe it's in a similar way too. You need to, if it's an office space, they have certain needs you need to address. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's still something different than doing something for an office than for a private environment where, because at home you're there the whole time, but not in the office.
Yes, I would say residential is more targeting comfort and stuff like that. In commercial, you get to not necessarily offices, but more like companies and retail shops and auto dealerships and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you can have a little bit more play. It's
Yeah.
not car dealer place that needs to be remodeled. There's so much you can do, which then even crosses over into exhibit design or store
Yeah.
design. Yeah, no, that's true. Micah, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Lorraine. I think I'm connected
Hi.
with you on LinkedIn, so it's nice to meet you. But I did have a question. So I guess so kind of how many clients and projects, like on average, kind of do you work on, depending like on like how busy you are, like in the months, but like how many do you kind of juggle at the same time? And then ordering like furniture or like fabrics, do you kind of do that yourself, or do you have like a department that kind of handles that for you?
Good question. So it just depends on the month. Like I said, December and November were really slow. So I worked on each project separately. Maybe each week. I usually work on projects really quick just because I want to get in the client faster before the month ends. So it just depends on when I'm working on. But I've worked on 3 projects together at the same time, and I had back-to-back presentations on the same day. So it just depends on how busy the month is and how many projects I have, how many clients are really contacting me again, answering my phone calls, getting them back in to the store. And answering your second question, we basically do everything ourselves, although we do have a manager. But like I said, it's basically running your own clientele, your own business yourself. So managing the operations, the ordering process. I do get into situations where I order something by mistake or it's a wrong order. So I ask for help from my manager and the operational team in Danbury. So it gets a little bit difficult ordering because the system is really complicated because of the amount of options and the amount of customizations that are available. So yes, I do everything by myself, but I do ask for help from my fellow designers here or the manager if I need to.
I guess a follow-up question for that, is it like kind of all Ethan Allen products that you are selling, or do you have like a different system that you order things through?
No, all of our furniture is Ethan Allen. I would say mattresses are from Kingsdown.
Okay.
That's the only other brand that we use. We do offer another drapery window treatment company, Hunter Douglas. I'm not sure you're familiar. We do residential and commercial window treatments, which include, blinds, shutters, paneling, and stuff like that. So we do offer this brand at every location of Ethan Allen across the U.S., of course.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's a really good question and point also, like what you mean with the complexity, because there are so many variations. You have to be very careful about how you set this up. It's not just going to the showroom and picking a piece out.
No, especially that it's taking 20 weeks to get the piece. So ordering by mistake is a big deal just because I'm the person that's gonna, take the fault and will be taking out of my numbers the following month. So yeah, I need to be very, very careful.
I have a question.
Sure.
So you mentioned that you're more interested in commercial design. Do you see yourself staying there for a long time, or do you see yourself moving into commercial later in life?
I just thought it was a great opportunity that I was actually offered a designer position here at Ethan Allen. So I was kind of thinking that it's a great start, just starting in residential, see how it goes and see if I like it. I do like it, but I do aim on something bigger, more, something that I can explore more. I am thinking of grad school, like my master's in architecture or interior architecture. I'm actually interested in urban design too lately. but I do think that I'm going to be ending up in a commercial company later on, or a commercial interior design firm. I also think a lot about real estate. I like real estate a lot. I like to read about it, see videos, and ask around. So I really don't know if I'm gonna stay here for a long time. I'm planning on staying here at least for a year. I mean, an extra year. But I'm pretty sure I would like to explore commercial for sure. I actually saw my a colleague that had an internship in a aviation company in Texas, maybe. I don't really remember where, but it's like interior design for private airplanes. And I got really interested in, I haven't thought about it before, and I thought it was really interesting. Same thing with interior design for cars. I think it's really, really interesting and something different, although we're doing interior design, choosing materials and kind of doing the selections and stuff like that. But I think it's something that I would like to explore. I'm kind of seeing how it goes, and hopefully I'll end up somewhere that I would really, really enjoy working at.
Yeah, I'm similar to where you are. I feel like you can easily get a residential kind of jobs, but commercial is my ultimate goal. And I also understand when you say you can explore more, and you can be a little crazy with your ideas when it comes to commercial. Residential will end up being kind of repetitive in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So I
it
see
depends
what
on
you mean.
the residential client you have. But yeah.
But I kind of feel, I can understand where she wants to go in a way, which is kind of what I want to go in the future.
I mean,
I
it's
like to be able to give some crazy wild ideas, you know, and you can do that in like a hotel lobby, or you can do that in a restaurant, you know, but you cannot do that in a residential.
Out of curiosity,
Unless-
Lorraine,
Mhm.
Ethan, Alan, where did you see this environment gave you the biggest growth?
Where did I get the best you know, like what did I learn exactly?
Yeah,
Or
something like this. Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Where do you see for yourself, since you're there, where did you grow as a designer the most?
I would say dealing with people and working on, you know, hands-on projects were really what I got to learn, because I'm a really shy person, and I haven't worked in sales before or customer service, so it was really something new that I get to greet the client when they walk in the door, and I have to like create a conversation and kind of create an interest, because I represent the brand, and this is where I really learned how to talk to people, basically, and just present them my ideas, and getting them to love what I did for them. So I would say the communication aspect of this job.
Yeah, it's a good. Was probably a really good training, because I remember you too being more on the shy side, and sometimes you just need to jump into the pool to learn swimming, and sales skill is such a desired. Maybe sales is the wrong term. Being able to read your client and convincing them what they want and helping them accepting it is a really important skill actually for this field, because at the end, what's the point of when we make a great design, but we can't convince somebody to buy into it?
Sure. Convincing them that this is what's going to make their space look amazing, and this is what they need in their space. And not a lot of people accept a new idea or accept a new thought. Some people just walk in, they know what they want, and when I try to introduce another idea or another color, as simple as that, they would just refuse it. So some people refuse it totally, and some people are more open to suggestions. Yeah.
True.
Any more questions? How's the class going? This is the senior seminar, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I started it differently compared to like when you were in it. What the students said, we started with the business card and the cover letter, writing, etc. And now we have 3 weeks of presenters coming in while the students work on their tying like a project together. And now after this, we will go into the layouting and portfolio part, and we will also touch upon setting up a website and LinkedIn, social media. We had last week Mark Farlow come in, who basically kind of like said LinkedIn and Instagram like crazy, because that's all you need today to be discoverable.
Sure. I think LinkedIn is a important point, and every student needs to have a LinkedIn account, because you never know who will contact you and what opportunity will just pop up on your feed, or connecting with an old instructor or an old manager you had, or fellow students. So I would say the LinkedIn is really important, in my opinion. I do have an Instagram account. I did get a couple leads from the Instagram, but it's a slower way of getting clients, I would say, or getting a job. But it's nice to build up Instagram accounts and on social media and posting more of my work, trying my best to keep on track on that.
Are you allowed to do projects also outside of Ethan and Ellen?
It just depends. I did ask this question a couple weeks ago, and it's included in my contract, and I need to review it again, just because I am getting more leads outside Ethan Allen, and I need to just know exactly what I can and what I cannot do. I know I can have clients outside Ethan Allen, but I don't know if I can recommend other brands to them.
Where do you get these leads? Primarily from like LinkedIn or other media?
I've been using Bark. Are you familiar with Bark?
No.
It's a website where you set up your account and you get leads there. You basically just connect your Instagram account or your Facebook account or your LinkedIn, and then just type in that I'm an interior designer and I graduated, a little bit of bio, some pictures, and it's a fast way of getting leads. So I would get a
bark.com?
Yes, I think. Here, let me just...
Oh, I see. So something like Angels List in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would get a notification if someone is looking for a designer to design their office or their house or stuff like that. And it can be like from all over the US. You can choose if you want to do remote design or in-person design. What is the budget and stuff like that.
Interesting. I'm going to bookmark this.
Yeah.
Because there is something else called CoroFlood, which is the portfolio higher job posting position for creative people. But the problem is it is just everybody goes right into it. And it seems really difficult to stand out there, because everybody goes to there. But I never heard of Bark, and it actually makes more sense, because maybe somebody else might, like a normal residential client person, might not necessarily know about CoroFlood, but knows this service and looks you up. So that's actually a good tip.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I would be surprised that they would, if I didn't answer on Bark, they would just reach out on my Instagram account and just text me direct message, and just ask if I can help them or I can design their space.
Cool. Thank you for that one.
Sure.
Very good. Lorraine, thank you so much for taking the moment out of your break and speaking with us today. It was really, really great. Also great to see you again and see
Thank
how
you.
everything worked out and is evolving.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I got really happy when you contacted me. So I'm very happy that I got to be interviewed with the students, and I hope I helped you in a way. And yeah, I'm really happy that I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, and talk to you soon then.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.